Get Warrior Tough. Mental Training 101 with Andrew Wittman and Dutch Coleman. And now back to Andrew and Dutch.
All right, we're back at it. Most monumental hour in media anywhere. Dutch and Andrew. Andrew and Dutch. You can find Dutch on the Twitter at @DutchColeman. I'm at Warrior Tough PhD. Use the hashtag #GetWarriorTough. Go to the website, www.getwarriortough.com. Call the office at 864-977-1443. There's a plethora of ways to get a hold of us. A smorgasbord, a buffet. You think I could get that in today?
I was going to say real quickly that first segment, we spent it on passion, right?
Yeah.
Now the rest of them aren't gonna take a whole segment, each one. But we were so passionate about being passionate that's why that took the first.
Yeah, it's the one that most people have. That's the hardest hump for people to get over. And they're afraid to be. They're really afraid to be passionate about what they do, because they're not sure that they. When you give yourself over to something holy, you're taking a risk. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And people like to hold that back, and that maybe we could do a whole show on that, Dutch, sometime, because our clients have a really, really hard time when you're in the grind, and it's hard to be passionate if you're, in XYZ industry and you're just doing the 9 to 5 and you're on, the hamster wheel or the rat wheel, and you just feel like you're not going anywhere and it's just a grind. I know it's hard. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm asking you, is there a way to bridge so that you can be passionate about what you do?
Well, we've been raised that work is hard, right? I mean, that's the mentality that work equals hard. Work is hard. No, I would say work ain't hard.
No, it's fun.
It's fun, man. You can choose to work. It's not a crime to be doing something that you love. That's something that's fun all the time. You have control over that, but we've been raised that work equals hard. That work is like a bad word.
It's a bad word. And and I'll tell you, there's stuff in our business that I don't necessarily, I'll say it like this, they're not my favorite things to do. I have stuff that I like to do better than other stuff. But that does not decrease my passion about the overall mission. Just like football players, like you said, no one likes to get hit by the 300-pound guy. Even the 300-pound guy doesn't like to get hit by another 300-pound guy. Mm-hmm. So, all right, so the next thing, here's number 2, is that happy and successfully fulfilled people, they swim upstream or they run uphill. So they're swimming upstream. I always think of those same. You and I were out in Seattle, and they took you down to the, was it the Pikes Peak, the fish market? And they were chucking the salmon. It always reminds me of the salmon swimming upstream. Like, it looks so unnatural, right? They're swimming upstream. But this is what happy and successful people, because you know what's going downstream? Complaining, saying why we can't do stuff instead of figuring out solutions of how we can. I can't. So what goes downstream is all the average-minded that are not happy. They're full of unsuccessful or unhappy people. So successfully happy people have to swim upstream like that salmon. It looks unnatural, but you don't want to go downstream, because where everything that goes downstream, that's easy. It's flow because it just gravity takes you there, but you end up getting dumped into the ocean.
Well, I mean, it's the average. The average fish is going down with the stream. I mean, the average is going down. If you want to be average, then you just go with the flow. You go down the stream. If you want to be different, if you want to be greater, if you want to take those risks, then you go, against the current. You go upstream. You go opposite of what everyone else is doing. A lot of times we find ourselves in our worst when we're just doing what everyone else is doing. We're in that groove. We're in that thing, and it's just so comfortable. Well, comfortable ain't always good.
No.
And a lot of times we are at our worst when we're comfortable.
And if you want to have average success and average fulfillment and average happiness, you just keep going with the flow. Mm-hmm. If you want outstanding, above average, and I'll even say great, world-class, elite warrior success, elite warrior happiness, elite warrior fulfillment, then you're going to have to swim upstream.
Well, I'll tell you this. And if you hadn't gone through CO of You, I suggest you do. Go to getwarriortough.com, check it out, or give us a call, and we'll set something up. But if your target or your vision is average, then you do average things. But I will guarantee you that if you sat down and you just envisioned the greatest thing that you want to do and that you would love to be doing, and whatever it is, I guarantee it's not average. So why would you be average if your dreams and your visions and your targets aren't average? You have to go above and beyond. You have to do something beyond average in order to get where you know. Again, I'm not judging you.
No, if you
have average dreams, cool. If you have average targets, then maybe you do need to go with the flow. And
right.
I'm not going to.
And that's totally fine. But you're not going to have that. You're going to have average happiness. You're going to be as happy as the average person. You're going to have as much fulfillment as the average person, which the average person aren't. They're because they're average. Anyway, this is with Carl Jung. Carl Jung, who's a guy we use his work. He was Sigmund Freud's apprentice, right? He was his apprentice. And we use some of his stuff when we're talking about communication styles. But he said this: to be normal is the ideal aim of the unsuccessful. To be normal. And everybody goes, oh, I want to be normal. That's the ideal aim of someone who's unsuccessful.
Mm-hmm. It makes no sense at all either. I mean, if I want to, worst case scenario should be absolute worst case scenario should even be above average for an elite warrior. Everything goes wrong. If I'm shooting for the stars, then I'm gonna get to the moon if I fail. Right? I'm so far.
And even if not, you're on the International Space Station, which is still in high orbit.
Absolutely. So even the worst case scenario for an elite warrior should be great. It should be something great. I was shooting for so much greater, but you know what? This is great, and I'm still aiming for greater.
So swim upstream, run uphill. All right, number 3. And here we go. They finish what they start. They're finishers. So, and I'll tell you, there's a lot of people that start stuff. They come up with these great ideas and they start something, and the average person does not finish. I would rather you be a slow starter, count the cost, look at the return on investment, and vet an idea, decide to pay the price to hit that target, and finish, than to start it and not finish it.
There are more unfinished ideas than there are finished ideas in the world. And that's why there's so few when you talk about the 1% and the 2% of whatever, like the greatest of the greatest, always like the upper 1%, because the only 1 or 2% of the ideas actually were finished. That people actually finished what they started.
Finish what you start. You finish.
There's so many underdeveloped programs, underdeveloped ideas, unexplored possibilities. There's way more of those.
And then we start on the next thing, right? And then we say, hey, look, a bunny rabbit. Hey, look, that's shiny over there. And then we move on to the next thing. And we don't pay the price. We don't do the hard work because and here's why. You know why people don't finish? Because they're not passionate about what they do, Dutch. And when you are not passionate, you will not sustain the intense effort that it takes to hit a outstanding target. You won't sustain that energy long enough, because when it gets hard and you're not passionate about something, that's when it goes unfinished.
And you know what happens? The other addition, I'm going to jump to number 4 with this one. They're not resilient. And those that do, those who are actually happy, are number 4. They are resilient.
Yeah. You got to have, we call that, mental toughness or bouncing back. In fact, we just did a coaching call with our advanced group on this entire topic, resiliency. And you and I said we're going to do a whole show on resiliency, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I don't want to spend a lot of time because we'll do an entire show on this. But you got to be able to
focus on those.
Yeah, you got to be able to bounce back, man.
Yep. You talked about passion. And with passion, there should be a connection with resilience. So, again, I can't wait to do that. So I'm looking forward to it already.
Awesome. All right, so and then number 5. We also just talked about this in resilience because it all rolls together. All this stuff rolls together. We're not telling you anything we don't know already. You already know this stuff. Now you got to do it. But you make your health a priority. You make your fitness a priority. You make your nutrition a priority. You make your sleep cycle a priority.
Mm-hmm. And so, again, as Andrew just said, you've heard all these things before. But the thing that we're trying to tell you is how they all relate to the process, how they all relate to the big picture. Now, each one of these things by themselves, you've all heard before. but you've never seen it all together in the puzzle that it finishes.
We call it like a stack. Puzzle. When we're doing like, when bodybuilders, they do supplements, they do a stack where you stack stuff, right? And you stack this with you stack that. You got, creatine with your beta alanine, and then with your whey protein and all the enes, right? And you stack. This is what we're doing. We're stacking. And the synergy behind doing these behaviors is what the most successfully fulfilled people do over the long term. These are lifestyle things. You can't just do this for 3 weeks.
No. And again,
which is why you got to be passionate.
And again, the value of I hope you're writing these things down as you're listening. One of these things without the other, as you decrease the number of them, you weaken each single one of them. So you need to write these down, and you need to do them all in concert, because again, one without the other is still good, but it weakens it exponentially. Each time you decrease the 10, if you only did one of the 10, or if you did 10 of the 10, then you went to 9 to 8 to 7.
Right.
You're weakening it, the power of each one exponentially. When you do, I know we're coming up on a break, so we won't hit the next one, but get that you're still good if you're resilient. You're still good if you're passionate, but you're better if you're resilient and you're passionate and you're healthy. So when you do all those things, by the same token, you're increasing the power of them exponentially.
Absolutely. And when you say exponentially, I mean, you're not even kidding about that. I mean, that's how huge it is. And when you realize that this is what it is that gets you those results, then that's when you really get passionate about this stuff, because you know that this is what champions do, Dutch. When they start to see good results, they repeat those behaviors. And these behaviors that we're telling you, when you repeat them, and you'll get more results, and the more results will make you want to repeat them. And it's an upward cycle. It's an upward spiral towards that fulfillment and that happiness and that success. It's just an awesome thing to behold. And once you get the train moving, and again, it might seem slow at first, but you keep cranking and pretty soon, exponential, like you said, it's mind-blowing. Dude, I'm not even kidding about that. Mind-blowing how much fun stuff is. All right, we're up on a break. You're listening to the Get Warrior Tough radio show with Dutch and Andrew, and we'll be right back.